So I want to talk about resolve or determination. Being a highly willful person myself, this is one of the things that I've relied on a lot. And with all of these qualities, any of these virtues that support letting go, there's the positive attribute of it, and there's also the shadow side of it. And somebody like myself, where willfulness and determination is very, very strong, I can see the way in which I've used this also to harm myself. So we need to be aware as we're cultivating these virtues that we know both the positive attributes of them and the shadow attributes of them, and watch out for both. So one of the, a story about resolve has come up very recently. My friend is living in a house, and the owner of the house has a bird feeder outside the window. And the squirrel has discovered how to jump onto the windowsill, and from the windowsill jump onto the bird feeder. And so there has been ongoing conversations about how to navigate this problem. And they've been taking videos of it. They've gone to the bird food store to get cages to go around the bird feeder so that the squirrel can't eat the bird food, and the squirrel. So there's determination and resolve both on the squirrel as well as on the people. The squirrel is determined to figure out how to get the food, and the people are determined how to keep the bird feeder where they want it, because that's the best view for the bird feeder, and to do battle with the squirrel. So there have been endless conversations that I've heard about, and it goes on. And so the initial 3 things that they have tried have not worked. The last one is like a heavy-duty grate that goes over the bird feeder, and the squirrel has figured out how to jump onto the bird feeder, climb upside down, stick his head through the grate, and still get the bird seed. So they're not done. The squirrel's not done, and the people are not done, and they're both absolutely determined that they are going to have what they want. So this is the kind of motivation that comes with determination. This is the energy behind it. There's a clarity of purpose and a willingness to stay on task, no matter what kind of obstacles are arising. And no matter how smart the squirrel is, the people are not deterred. They are not willing to move the bird feeder to another place. And the squirrel is determined that the squirrel is going to figure out how to break through the most recent device and get to the seed. So we can see this quality of resolve and determination showing up in different parts of our lives, and we can also see that we are not the only ones that have it. You know, animals also have this. So in the path of cultivation, one of the things that we can observe is that all kinds of things come up which are challenges. And some of these challenges distract us or pull us away or confound us, or we lose momentum, we lose steam, we lose the point and the purpose of what it is that we're doing and why. And so when our resolve is sufficiently strong, the resolve helps us stay on task. It helps us return to what it is that we've been wanting to do, no matter the kinds of challenges that we come up with. So Ajahn Chah, said whether you like to practice or you don't like to practice, you practice. Whether you feel like practicing or you don't want to practice, you practice. Whether you're tired or you're not tired, you practice. And so on that level, when the determination is very strong, the vicissitudes of life and the fluctuations of our body energies and whether or not it's particularly convenient or not convenient, those are things that arise, and we still find a time to do our practice. And in that way, we set our aspiration around the things that really matter to us, and we don't get pulled around by the enormity of the ways in which life can intercede in it. Now, having said that, the truth of the matter is that the shadow of this is that we can use the determination in order to clamp down in a rigid way around what our practice is, and not be responsive to what our actual needs are. And so that is not a helpful way of being with our determination. That's a way that ends to further tightness and contraction and not having a good energy or a response to what's going on. So I remember Ajahn Viradhammo was sharing a story with when he was a young monk. In the Thai forest tradition, there's Dhutanga practices, these particularly ascetic practices, and they include eating in from your alms bowl at one sitting, sleeping at the root of a tree, wearing only rag robes. And one of the ones that's quite challenging is the practice of not lying down. And so it's called sitter's practice. And so you don't lie down. So at nighttime, when it's time to rest, instead of lying down on a mat or on a bed, you sit up. And so Ajahn Viradhammo was doing all of these 10 Dhutanga practices. It's not uncommon with young monks, the kind of ferocity of practice where they think that if they tried things and did them hard enough, that would be the way to kind of bust through to enlightenment. And so here was Ajahn V as a young monk, and he was doing all 10 Dhutanga practices. And you know, when you're extremely sleep deprived, it has an impact on your system. So in Thailand, they had a platform where the monks sat that was 3 or 4 feet off the ground. And when you're sleep deprived, you can't always sit up very well. And so Ajahn Viradhammo fell off of the platform and split his head open. And you know, what he reported Ajahn Chah saying was, you know, just take it easy. Just take it easy. You know, chill out, you know. It's not nibbana or bust. That's usually not the way that it works. So determination has this tremendous energy as its positive attribute, and the diluting qualities that we think that we can just muscle our way through things. And that can be a source that, or a force that can actually cause us to overlook some of the more sensitivities in our systems, in our hearts and our bodies and minds that we need to pay attention to, where we can disregard some other basic needs in our pursuit for enlightenment. And you know, if we do that long enough and hard enough, there's going to be some costs that we're going to have to pay for sooner or later. So resolution is a tremendously important quality, and because it can bring with it a driving energy that's very powerful, that driving energy can be used as a way of disconnecting ourselves from our basic needs, then the shadow in determination is actually quite significant. We can use it in a way to override some of the other things that are going on with ourselves, because our view is that where we're headed is a good place, and that no matter what gets in our way, we are determined to get there. So, I'm curious to see who wins with the squirrel and the bird feeder. Stay tuned.